first ever episode of Hands On with Saberduelgaming. These are my hands. Hello. So, the whole point of this show is to show you some of my gaming merchandise, to really actually show some physical engagement as opposed to my normal reviews, which are all really edited, even my podcast to a degree, cropped and stuff. You're actually seeing me interacting with some of my gaming merchandise. And the first theme is Resident Evil. By the way, expect a lot more Resident Evil themed ones, as I have a lot of Resident Evil merchandise. But I picked the things you see in front of you today, and we're going to have a little talk through them, a little look at each of them one by one. So I'm going to move some of these out the way first of all, so that we can, have a little bit of space for what we're doing. So why Resident Evil? Well, I love it. I've loved Resident Evil ever since I played originally Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64. But where it became more than just a game I really liked or a series of games to a franchise I fell in love with was with this one. This is Resident Evil for the Nintendo GameCube. This is actually the second copy of this I owned. The original copy, along with the GameCube, I apologize, that I originally had, was actually stolen. That's delightful, isn't it? But I was later on able to buy a new GameCube with this, and if anyone hasn't played this, this is actually a pre-owned copy, as you can see here. I actually got a set that included a Resident Evil exclusive GameCube, which we will look at in a future one. But if you haven't already played this game, go and check out my review for it. I'll try and put that as like a link to it below. But the GameCube was a fantastic console. It was the only console I've ever seen with these wonderful little discs. I mean, they were just precious. I mean, look at them, these little tiny things. And there's two discs across the game. We've got this one here with the zombie on, and this one here with the classic little zombie dogs in. The booklet itself is, I don't know if you remember the days when you actually had booklets in games with information, a little prologue, introducing to the characters, Jill and Chris. It's just such a cool game. And I eventually I did get all in one go the set that had Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil, as well as Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, all on the Nintendo GameCube. It was probably one of the best times for Resident Evil, in my opinion. I don't actually play this one. I've actually downloaded it to the Nintendo Switch. So this one doesn't get played very much. It tends to stay on its shelf. So this is a rare time it's been taken down for you guys to see. So I'm going to put that back there. And because it was something I got along with it, introducing you to this. So this is the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller. We have a little stand for it here with the cable tucked away underneath. And yeah, this is, if you've played Resident Evil 4, you will know there is the chainsaw guy in it. So this is a functioning Nintendo GameCube controller. Only ever really used it as a controller one or two times. Otherwise, this has been very carefully placed on the shelf. As you can see down here, these are very limited editions. There's only a certain amount of them. So this is number 4,180 of 50,000 ever made for the GameCube. I think there was actually, I'm trying to remember, I think there was actually two different versions. I think there was a different coloured version for the PlayStation? Not the console. I don't know. At a later date. But this one was the GameCube one. Very cool, very classy. On the packaging, it actually had it down as being individually blood splattered. So the blood splattering that you see there is different on every single one. It's just a thing of beauty. Absolute masterpiece. What's really cool here, if you can see, there's actually this little gap here, which is a space for a GameCube memory card to fit in, which is just incredibly, incredibly cool. So up next, we have these wacky little things. These were actually a set of keys that I bought off Amazon, like a little prop replica thing. These are the keys that are used in Resident Evil 2, I believe it is. And you have the different key in the same way as in the original Resident Evil. You have the keys with the different heads on, the different symbols. These ones you have card theme keys. So you got diamond, clubs, hearts, and spades. I just quite like the idea that it's a sort of an actual game replica. They don't do anything. I just got them one year for Christmas. I was searching on Amazon, and I looked for Resident Evil merchandise. These aren't official in any way. They're not made by Capcom, so these aren't official Resident Evil merchandise. But come on, we know what they are. I actually got another piece of in-game sort of replica merchandise from the same creators, just in a little phone box. As I say, it's not official in any way, but it does look pretty cool. They are pretty cool. Up next, we have one of a collection, one of many Funko Pops I have, and this one being Leon Kennedy with the shotgun from Resident Evil 4. Leon Kennedy is maybe my favorite character, certainly one of my favorite characters. For those of you getting very triggered right now, I do still have the box. Although I take my Funkos out of the box, I do keep the boxes. I have an entire attic full of boxes. But yeah, this is Leon. There's a brilliant little emo fringe there. From Resident Evil 4, which is a fantastic game. Same game as this chainsaw is from, actually. So we'll put this guy over here. There was a whole selection of these. There was a fair few different ones, and I do have the majority of them. I believe there's maybe one or two that I'm missing. But there was no way I was going to miss out on Leon. I always thought this was an awesome look for his character, although he looked cool in Resident Evil 2. By Resident Evil 4, with this sort of slightly rugged look, a bit more rugged anyway. The cool jacket, and the shotgun's awesome. So yeah, very cool little Resident Evil Funko. As we do more Resident Evil ones of these, expect to see more of them, because I've got a whole host of Funkos. Okay, up next we have a 2006 Jill Valentine action figure, and this is very much from the original game. Well, the remake of the original game. This came out sort of to coincide with not long after Resident Evil. I don't know if we've got the date Resident Evil came out on here. 2002. So yeah, not too long after. This was a selection of figures. And again, I've got more of these to come. Again, figures. They're very much models, really. They're not very opposable. They're designed for one or two poses. And they are quite well detailed. I mean, got the stars logo on the back there. A little bit of opposability in the head, but not much in the arms. It's very much designed to hold the gun the way it's being held. And we do have a little gun holster here that actually has something else in. If I can take it out. This is the little zapper thing that's used when the zombies get a bit too close to you in the game. And she has a pistol. It also actually does come with a couple of other random little bits. We have the normal and incendiary grenades, which is quite cool. And my personal favourite, the fact that it comes with a first aid spray. And I have one more piece of Resident Evil merchandise to share with you before this all wraps up. It is this guy. Come on. This is awesome. The Lickers, for those that don't know, were a hideous, monstrous creation that was made by Umbrella. Just going to move some of these things back a little bit so that we can see my Licker friend in all of his stuffed toy glory. They were these monstrous creations. I think they were introduced in Resident Evil 2. We've got an exposed brain, this long, flickering, creepy tongue, claws, and a particularly creepy butt just sticking out there, especially in this one. This very much looks like he's twerking. It's a bit creepy. I think we can see on here, this is the Licker Minted Icon. Very cool. There was a number of the stuffed toys for this. I think there was a couple of others. I'm trying to think. I think there was one of them. Might have been a hunter. Or Nemesis. But this is the coolest one. I love the Lickers. And I don't know how this manages to look so cute and so hideous at the same time. But yeah, there we go. And I think that's it for today, guys. That's my first hands-on looking at my Resident Evil merchandise. There's a lot more to come, so if you find this kind of thing remotely interesting, make sure you subscribe. We're going to do some more of these going forward. But don't worry, these are not replacing my normal game reviews or any of my other content. I'm just adding to what we have. So thank you very much for joining us. If you like Resident Evil, let me know below. What's your favourite Resident Evil game? What Resident Evil merchandise have you got? Have you got anything interesting? Let me know down below. If you want to send me the link to anything you do have, maybe one day, and it could just be Resident Evil, it could be gaming merchandise. Maybe one day what I'll do is I'll do a separate video where I look at images online of the gaming merchandise you guys have, or pictures that you can send to me on Instagram of gaming merchandise you have. Maybe we'll do a review like that one day. But until next time, I've been Saber. This has been my good friend the Licker. Say goodbye. Yeah, creepy guy. And take the high ground.